I'm James. In this week's Problem Solved, one of the things I commonly get asked is, do we do a machine or a low vision aid that will help read letters, mail, things like that, if your eyes aren't good enough for magnification? So basically we need to look at text-to-speech machines, and basically text-to-speech, sometimes called OCR. Basically, it's a machine that takes a picture of text and reads things back to you. I'm not actually visually impaired myself, but what I'm going to do is put on this anti-inflammatory face mask that I use for my hay fever. So basically that will give me, it's like a blindfold, so I can't see what I'm doing, just to give you an idea of how easy these machines are to operate. And obviously people with no vision at all can use these machines as well. I've got many customers with no sight at all that do use them. So I'm just going to pop this on, and there I am, nice and sturdy. So the first machine I'm going to demonstrate to you is this one here. It's called a smart reader, and obviously I'm doing everything by feel. To turn it on and off is really simple. There's a really tactile arm in the middle of the machine, and if I press that, it springs up on its own, and that turns it on, and if I was to push it back down again, it would turn it off. The smart reader always makes some audio noises just so that you know it's doing something. So at the moment it's making a few bleeps, and basically I'm just waiting for it to turn itself on. Where is she? I'm going to just bring her a bit closer to me. Okay, I know she's ready to talk to me. I say she, it could be, you can change the voice between male and female, but I'll know when it's ready because it will physically say ready. And it normally takes about 30 seconds from lifting the arm to it being good to go.
Hello, ready to scan.
Okay, once she says hello, ready to scan, basically I know that the machine's good to go and it's good to read to me. So the first problem I've got, obviously I know I've got some kind of letter here, and the orientation, I don't know obviously the way that the print goes, but basically with the smart reader it doesn't matter on the orientation of the text. So it doesn't matter if I put it that way or even upside down. So I'm guessing that is upside down, but obviously I can't see anything at the moment, so I'm guessing. Okay, really simply what I need to do to make the machine read it to me is I always feel for the bottom left hand corner of the machine and roughly line up my page by feel with that corner. Obviously if you do have some usable vision, that is a lot easier, but obviously I've got a blindfold on, so I can't see anything at all. And then basically all I need to do is on the top here, I can feel the arm, there's a button on either side that sticks out, it's tactile. All I need to do is just press that, and then the machine will take a picture of it, and once it's converted it into the speech, it will just go ahead and read it to me. So I can actually just move this out of the way if I wanted to.
Reference number 01556011857. JGE 18,174,820 ACA 6,510 R3. To the bill payer Octatech United Unit H First Floor Penfoot Woe KS Imperial Way Watford Hertfordshire W0244YY. December 2020. Dear customer, 35,800 A3476 BR for AL first 0046 for 18. We're ready to fit your smart meters. Following changes were made to our installation process to
okay, so I'm just going to pause it there.
Safe.
Just by tapping this button in the middle, that's a play and a pause. So it can be really useful if somebody comes to the door, telephone rings, anything like that. As soon as I press it again, it will carry on where it left off. Sometimes the way that the letters are written, so there it read a lot of numbers that sound like it's not making sense, but what that's actually doing is probably reading, and I'm guessing because I can't see what's on here, but I think that's some reference numbers. If you have got enough usable vision, generally I tell people just to fold the page so that it doesn't read the letterhead, because generally it's normally just the main body of the letter that you're interested in. But I'm just going to hit play again to let it carry on.
We're now ready to come and fit your smart meters for free. We know things haven't been easy for businesses recently, so we're hoping we can help a little by fitting you smart meters. TB benefits of smart meters could be greater than ever.
I'm going to pause it again there, because that's just going to read all the way to the bottom of the page now. If I realise it's junk mail, basically I can stop the machine anytime just by pressing the button on the top again. But before I do that, there's a couple more features that I can do when it's reading the material that I want. So if it's read something,
What meter sends us your meter
it's got
readings
two buttons either side. So the one on the left is like a rewind button.
Automatically.
And each time I press it goes back up a line.
As your meter readings automatically. You'll only be billed for the energy.
And the button on the other side is exactly the same, but that goes down line. So I can basically, by keep pressing it, navigate through the page.
Is more accurate. Plus, you'll be playing your part in helping Britain become cleaner and greener as smart meters.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop it there.
Smart grid.
It's got two other controls as well, actually on the side here, and the one on the left, it's just a little wheel. I can feel it really simply.
Volume 4.
It's just a volume control, and the one on the other side is exactly the same in feel, but that's the speed in that she reads. Two more buttons that I generally don't concern myself with too much at the back here. So the back left will save a page of text that it's reading, and the back right brings back the files that I've saved on there. So you can keep scanning pages and it will create a book for you. Or alternatively, if you've got information that you want to keep, so I can bin this and it's always going to be in the machine, that will be there as well. Letters, it doesn't struggle with it all, really simple. One of the other common things I get asked is about books and how it deals with binds. So again, with books, I just line it up with my corner. This machine actually sees better in a landscape mode. So by me turning the book that way, I know that the machine is going to see both pages as opposed to just one of them. And I'll press the button there. But I know just by doing that, it isn't going to struggle with the bind at all. Once I press that button, rather than me sit here while it reads 2 pages of text, I can just put a bookmark in my page, and then I know which page to scan next.
Hilgarth's sabotage plan was scuppered.
And I've been playing with the speeches.
Scuppered. Gomez reappeared in Madrid, fresh from his briefing on Operation Mincemeat and with new instructions for his boss. Once the body was delivered by HMS Scrap, it would be up to Hilgarth to coordinate its reception in Spain, find out where and when it landed, and what happened to the documents, and maintain the essential fiction that a crucial batch of secrets had gone missing. Hilgarth, the naval novelist, would now write the second chapter of Operation Mincemeat. He would take the role of hero. Gomez Bayer would play second lead. Adolf Clausenwell would, with luck, act as the helpful receptionist. And in Madrid, at the very centre of the web of German intelligence, was a man who might have been typecast as the leading villain of...
I'll pause that again. So, read the book, no problem. I know I've read at least a couple of lines there, and it didn't struggle with the bind at all. Obviously, depending on the thickness of the bind, as long as the machine gets a fairly good first scan, and it's not really thick, so that the text is on the inside of the bind, it won't struggle at all. The smart reader, I'm going to shut it down just by shutting its arm.
Powering down.
Okay, so that's turning itself off. As you can see, there's no wires to it. It runs on a rechargeable battery. You can just plug it into the mains and run it on the mains as well. But I love the fact that it's quite easy to move around the house. So if you want to use it in the kitchen for reading, I was going to say prescriptions there, I don't mean prescriptions at all. For reading cooking books and things like that, you can use it in the kitchen, and then you can take it upstairs and read it, put it on your bedside table and it'll read a book. You can just move it around really simply. It's quite robust, really strong unit, not afraid of chucking it around a little bit. And if you have got some usable sight, obviously I'm using it at the moment with a blindfold on, so I can't see anything at all. But if you do have some usable sight as well, you can plug it into a television. And not only will it read the words, it'll display those words on the television. And then you can increase the size of the text on the television and change the colours and things like that. But principally, that's as simple as it is. I'm going to put that to one side. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the next one I'd like to show you. Ooh, what have we got here? is an OrCam Read. So the OrCam Read does very similar to the smart reader, but as you can see, it's a lot smaller. It's got 4 buttons across the top here to operate it. So the button on the far right is the on and off switch. It's already turned on. Okay, and then there's a volume, a plus and a minus button here, which are tactile. All these buttons across here are tactile, so I can actually feel them, because obviously I can't see them at the minute. And there's a plus here and a minus. Basically that increases and decreases volume. And the most important button is the button on the end there, which is the trigger button, which is basically when I tell it to read something. It doesn't require an internet connection, neither of them do, so you can take this anywhere. But obviously the beauty of this, it's a lot more discreet, it's a lot more portable. And yeah, normally I just drop it in a top pocket and away I go. So to operate it is really simple. Oh, I screwed my letter up, so I'll use the book. With the OrCam Read, you do have to have the material the right way up. So if it was upside down or back to front, it will say text not recognized. So principally, if it does that, I'll do it on this one.
The text seems upside down.
So it's told me.
Rotate the device and try again.
So basically, it's told me that the print's the wrong way around, and either to turn the machine around or turn my book around. So, but principally, really simple to use. Basically, you point it at your material. It actually, your natural reaction is to put it really close to the page, but it actually works better if you hold it further away. So all I'm going to do is hold this up here. I don't even know where my camera is now to show you, but I'm holding it away from my book. I press the button.
116. Operation Mincemeat. Clear as to who is in sole charge of administrative arrangements in connection with this operation. Bevan wrote to Montague in a note calculated to rile him. I think we all agree that there are quite a number of things that
again, I can just pop my bookmark in here. Once it's taken the picture, I can just shut my page with my bookmark in and just put it down and listen to it.
Did not see it that way. Privately, Montague accused Bevan of thinking it couldn't come off and disclaiming all responsibility.
Okay, to stop it, I just press the same button again, the trigger button. It stops it, it clears it, it doesn't save it. And then I'm good to scan the next page once I've got to the end. The good thing about the OrCam Read, and a question I commonly get asked, is how far away does it work from things? Well, what I've done just for this example is I know that there's a magazine over there somewhere. I don't know where, because I put it there a while ago now and I can't see. But I've used it in places like supermarkets and stood behind counters and pointed it behind the counter board. So like if I was at a delicatessen and it's got a menu behind the board of what their specials for the day are, things like that, it will read road signs and things like that. But as an example, I know it's over here somewhere. I've just got a magazine, so all I'm going to do is just point that out towards it.
Welcome to Winterside Avenue, Cecilia Bufton, Chair. Welcome tea. As the final days of 2020 approach, I find myself welcoming you all for the first time. The end of the year is a time to look back at everything we've achieved and look forward to what...
Okay, so straight away, and I'm going to try and get my face, I'm guessing where the camera is. Straight away, I didn't know exactly where that document was. I just pointed it in the rough direction of it. And I think it was reading that perfectly from what I could make sense of it. But that's how easy it is. It's literally just point and press. It will do a lot more, but predominantly that's all people want it to do. If you are wanting more sophisticated features, it's actually got voice commands in it. So if I was to scan a newspaper down here and I was only interested in the headlines, I can tell it only to read the headlines. And I can even make it search for a specific word. So if I had a newspaper and it was reading the sports pages and I was only interested in Nottingham Forest, because that's my team, I could say find Nottingham Forest and it will search that newspaper for the word Nottingham Forest and read that article. Brilliant machine. We've had really good reviews about it. It's relatively new to the market. And that's pretty much it really. So if your eyes are at a stage where magnification is no good and or even using very large levels of magnification, speech can be useful, because it's actually quicker to get a machine to read things to you than it is magnify it 30-40 times and read it yourself. It's quicker just to tell the machine to read it for you. Basically, we do machines like that. You've seen me use it blindfolded, so it's really simple. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to give us a ring or type in the comments box. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Ooh, bright light.